morning, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you're joining us. Thank you so much and happy Friday to you. You are tuning in to Tisha Talks Live on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. And I've got my Tisha mug. Lee and I have actually been practicing our fist bump. Lee, shall we give it a try?
Sure.
That takes some skill when you're opposite. Anyway, super fun. It's great to be back with you guys. And we have such a great topic today. We have Lee Towe, and we're talking today, let me put this up on the ticker. We're talking about abundance pie, how to grow more. And Lee and I connected on this topic because abundance, I don't know if you knew this, Lee, but abundance is my word of the year. Have I shared that with you? Yeah, abundance.
Later on, after we booked this, you did, yes.
Yeah. And we have a guest joining us on LinkedIn. Hey, Mary Fane Brandt. She's here in Arizona with me. So thanks for tuning in. And I just actually had a great call with her yesterday. And she said, I'm ready for today's episode. Great. I think you're going to have a lot of takeaways. Lee has given me so many great questions to ask him. So I'm ready to dive in. But Lee joining us all the way from Des Moines, Iowa. And we've connected, and I really love your spirit, your heart on LinkedIn. That's where we connected. And you just have great comments, Lee. I always feel like we can get into an engaging conversation when we start commenting on each other's posts.
Thanks, you too. I wish I could be there in your Lexus with you, in the car, but this is the next best thing.
Hey, you never know. Like, I'm making road trips apparently, and people are coming in town to see us in Arizona. So I'm like, jump in the car, you do the lesson, and yeah, that's what we're going to do. So good stuff. I know. Like, look, you're driving off. All right. So today, again, we're talking about abundance. If you have any questions on this topic, please, now's a great chance, even if you're watching the replay, to put them in the chat, put them in the comments. And Lee and I can answer those for you, not even just on the show, but just even after the show, because we get notified that someone has watched the show. So let's talk about this. I know you said abundance. You're going to dive in a little bit deeper. What would you say, Lee, is like your very definition of abundance? I'd love to start there.
That's a great question. I did a LinkedIn poll earlier this year and asked people, do you think abundance exists or is created? Any guesses as to how the poll turned out?
I would say that most people said it was created. Yeah?
It was 50-50. The poll ended up exactly split. Right?
Oh, wow. Okay.
And I'm the mind that we create. I remember a fish years ago, there was a video that a company training type thing. They went to Seattle to the fish market where they throw fish, and they asked the people, you've got this great energy. How does this happen? And I remember the guy on the thing, every day we have to create it. It's not. Mm-hmm. It's quiet. And I'm into that fish market. Have you ever been to that fish market in Seattle?
I have. I have been in Seattle.
So talk to you in the early morning. There's nothing happening. There's no energy there. It's not like you go to the market energy. It's created. And that's kind of where I come from. Abundance. It's more than enough. There's enough for everyone. That's how I'm looking at abundance. But I fall into the camp that while it's great to have a mindset that says, hey, there's abundance out there. That's a great starting point. I think we generally create it.
I agree. I don't know if I ever shared this with you because I think we just met not too long ago, but I used to have, do you remember those angels, like the two angels that one's looking up and they're like little chubby angels. I used to have this picture above my bed and I was like, I don't know if that really suits what I want. Like, I don't know. So when I was going into this whole abundance mindset and my word of the year being abundance, I went into a Kirkland Home store and there in front of me on the clearance rack said, together we have it all. And I immediately snatched it up and I was like, that's what I want above my head. That's what I want on my wall. I want to wake up. I want to go to bed knowing that we have it all. And I feel like that's that abundance is, you're creating those opportunities, but you also have everything that you need. You really do. Like everything is just bonus. It's like just cherry on top, right? So that's the way I look at abundance is there's always more out there, but I'm actually very good too. Like I'm not stressed. I'm not freaking out. It's none of that. Good stuff.
Well, and I think that's the beauty of having the abundance mindset, which is pie growers goes beyond that. But I think that's the beauty of having that is the lower stress, the feeling that there will be enough, that you are enough, that there's enough in the universe. So that's a great starting point.
Yeah,
And
I
it
love
beats
it.
cherubs every day.
Yeah, cherubs. That's what they're called. Cherubs. Those little chubby angels is what I was calling them. And I want to give a big shout out to Luis Melendez. He's joining us from LA. And he says, good morning and a happy groovy Friday. Same to you, Luis. Thanks for joining us live. And again, if you guys have any questions like Mary or Luis, please comment, throw it in the chat so we can go ahead and answer that for you, or just join us in the conversation. So here's a great question for you, Lee. We see a lot of these super smart, hardworking people, but they keep missing these growth opportunities. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Doing this. Okay. Bump for.
So Lee, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. I don't know if you can hear me, but the internet keeps coming in and out. So I'm going to ask if you want to come back in and we'll just keep talking. It looks like Mary and I can chat in the chat line. All right. So while Lee is coming back, because this is what happens on live streaming, right? Like we have technical problems. He's out in Des Moines. I'm in Gilbert. But Mary, I'm going to put your comment up here and we can have our own little live stream. It says, no freaking out anymore. Happy in the space we are at while we work towards the space we want to land in. And that's such a brilliant way to look at it. I know when I was always stressed out of like, when is the next check coming or when is this going to happen? I would freak myself out. There's Lee. He's coming back in. Freak myself out. I didn't really need to stress about that. And it was really repelling things from me. And so I think that Mary, you can attest to that too. When you were so much into this, I have to have it. It's not working. Why isn't it working? And instead of just letting it be free flowing, that things are going to come to you in the time they're supposed to come to you. That's the biggest difference. That's the biggest difference, right? Okay, so Lee is back. Let's see if we can get this back going. So Lee, welcome back.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're still a little blurry, but hopefully we're gonna get going with this.
All right. So fist bump.
Fist bump. Boom.
Okay. So here's what I want to do. Have you ever thumb wrestled?
Thumb wrestled, yes.
Okay. So here's our little competition. 30 seconds. Both of us will thumb wrestle, and that's what.
Lee, I lost you again, my friend. Oh my goodness. Technology fails again. But if you want to jump out again, I'm going to keep this going. We might have to redo this one because of just technical problems. But yeah, Lee's coming back in, I think. I'm going to go ahead and put up Mary's comment. It takes the stress down and allows us to focus on our next moves, not focus on what we don't have. Yes. And I know Mary and we were talking about this yesterday of, like I was saying, with this whole thing, we have what we have. We have it all, right? That's why I love that sign. And by the way, on clearance at Kirkland Home, I was like, that's a steal. I'm going to buy this. And that whole abundance of we have enough, but wow, all of the opportunities are coming to us anyway. Like that's such a great point to make, that when you cut yourself off or when you think that there's competition, and I know when we get Lee back in, we're going to talk about competition. Is it good? I would actually love to hear if you were joining us, Luis, Mary, and whoever else is joining us on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. What do you guys feel about competition? Do you think it's healthy? Do you think it's good to have competition? What do you think about that? I'm going to share that competition for me, I guess I never really look at competition. I feel because I do a lot on the branding front, I feel like every one of us is very unique in the way we do things, in the way we operate, in the way we have our personalities. So I don't really look at it as competition. I feel like the best thing you can do is say, I'm not everybody's tea. I know other people that do what I do, and pass it on. Pass the referral. Other people are better suited to working with other individuals. And I know the types of people that I really love to work with. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. What about competition? Do you feel like competition is a good thing? Do you feel like it's a bad thing? What do you think? I see Royce Blake joining us out here in Arizona. off of LinkedIn, and he says people tend to think there's one giant pie of abundance when in truth it's infinite. Such a great point, Royce. Thank you so much. And it's so funny. You guys are taking the words right out of Lee's mouth. These are a lot of the questions we were going to hammer home today. Is does infinite pie exist? And from what Royce says, yeah, infinite pie does exist. It does exist. There's so many opportunities out there that are just waiting for us, right? All right, Mary, talking about competition, it can be good or bad. It all depends on how the person looks at it. I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat. Hopefully we'll get Lee back in here. Hopefully his technology is working okay. I'd love to have him back on when we can get that fixed. But I want to hear from you, like competition. You know, I can't say that I've really had anyone come to me and they're in this competitive nature. I've never really had that. I feel like, and I know Mary, you can attest to this too, we're more of that collaborative type. So there's always a way. There's always a skill set that you have that I don't have. And that's how we join forces. And that's how we make it so much better. Yeah. Louise saying, yes, you take more abundance pie. All right. Good stuff. All right, guys. Well, I don't know if Lee is coming back. So if you, like I said, you guys that are in the chat, if you have a question, let's bring it up and let's just chat about it. And then we may just wrap this up so that I can get my guest back on. But I know today we were going to be talking about strategies, best strategies for people who are looking to create more abundance in their workplace. That's a great thing too. Oh, Louise, sorry, hit wrong key. Okay. Yeah, so that's one thing I wanted to talk about with Lee, or what are some of those strategies for people in the workplace? How can they start? Oh, Lee's back, guys. This is the fun part. I think he might be on his phone. Let me see. Lee, I'm bringing you back into the stream.
You are absolutely right. I'm on my phone.
Yay! Look at that! Plan B. Much clearer, much crisper. Lee, thank you for coming back. You, my friend, are very persistent. You're like, not today, technology, not today.
All right.
It. Yeah. Okay. So let's bring the conversation back. I was holding down the fort because that's what we do, right? That's what we do. Is we're like, we're gonna wait for Lee. We're just gonna keep going with this. So we were talking about the question, Lee, about smart, hardworking people and why you feel that some of them, just the opportunities, it just misses them, or they don't see them. They don't see what's right in front of them. Let's talk a little bit more about that. What would you say about that?
Exactly.
Okay, Lee. So we were doing good with the phone, and now it's like what is it? Like Charlie Brown talk. So I don't know if we're going to get to do this today, and that's okay because there's always tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, so you me, huh?
Yeah, you're breaking up a little bit. But I mean, we're holding down the fort.
Okay. Let's try it. And if it breaks up off. So,
yeah.
Wrestling. So
yeah.
Now I have here. Sorry. Wrestle for 3 seconds. Every time you turn the person's thumb for a second, quarter. You 3 seconds. Oh, you ready?
Okay, Lee. I think we have to call it, my friend. I think we got to call it. I'll do the thumb. I can't even remember which way we were going. This way.
I know. So you want to try another day?
Yeah, I think we'll do that just so everybody can hear your brilliance and it's not choppy and we can all listen in because you have such a great topic and we want to talk about that abundance pie. So technology is no bueno. It's no bueno today.
Okay. Once in a while, I've done like 50, 60, 100 Zooms and it works, but today wasn't the right day, I guess.
Well, okay. Here's what's funny, Lee, is right now I can hear you. So I don't know what it is. Like it's in and out. Like now I can hear you. I can see you.
All right.
Okay.
Well, charge ahead. And if it cuts out, say goodbye and we'll do it another time. So
Okay.
thumb wrestling.
Yeah.
Do you have the rules? Every time you pin the other person's thumb for a second, you get a quarter. You've got
Yeah.
30 seconds. Go. Ready? Try thumb wrestle with me.
I'm waiting for my thumb to go into your screen,
I
and that's
know,
not
I
going to happen.
See, all kinds of technology problems. Okay,
Oh,
so what's your approach to this? Are you trying to put my thumb down with me pinning your thumb? Is that your approach?
I'm trying to. I would always play this game with my kids, and I'm always like trying to like maneuver my thumb just so I can just like and pin it that way.
Exactly. So when I do this with people, I do this with people all the time, and I have a stack of quarters. How many quarters do you think I pay out for that 30 seconds on average? How many total
Ooh.
between the two people?
Oh, okay. I'm gonna guess you pay out 4 to 6 quarters. Something
Yeah,
like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
good. Yes.
That
Yeah.
was a total guess, by the way.
So three
Okay.
is my average, and sometimes it's one, sometimes it's four. So but so I pay people the quarters, and when I pay them, like you get two and you get one. So the person who gets two, they're going, oh, I won, and I ask them, how many quarters could you have gotten if you had cooperated?
Mm-hmm.
And the mind starts to go, and they go, okay, one per second. Every time you pin the other person's thumb for a second, I've got 30 seconds. We could have won 30 quarters.
Yeah.
If we had worked this out, go like 1, 2, 1, 2, or 15, 15, whatever.
Right.
But we could have had 30 quarters. The size of the pie was potentially 30.
Mm-hmm.
And they settled for 3.
Yeah.
So back to your question, why do smart, hardworking, intelligent people, why do they miss the pie? How do they end up with much less than they could have, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just love that, because we go back to, we had the opportunity to split 30 quarters, but it's ingrained in us to compete. And why is that? Well, there's just competition or win-lose all around us. It's in the school system with ranking. It's in athletics, obviously. It's in the court system. It's in politics. We are competing for a promotion. We're competing for a seat. We're competing for budget dollars. We're competing for market share. We're competing a lot. So that's our default, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. So I know we're in football season, and my husband was in a survivor league. Do you know what a survivor league is, Lee? Where
yes.
So
if you lose, you're out.
Yeah, I think you have 3 tries to guess the right teams. You can only pick the team one time. So, some of them are easy, like we got this, we know it. So he made it all the way where there were only 6 people left, and there started out with 1,000 people. So the pot was pretty good. And
Right.
I think that the competition played a part, and the person that was running it said, hey, what about splitting it? Like, we all get a piece of the pie. Like, we all walk away with something. We all did our best. And, and there's always that one person that's like, I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And that person, the person that decided, nope, I really want it all. He was the one that kind of ruined it for everybody else and actually didn't even win. Like, so he walked away with nothing. So, yeah, pretty sad. Sad stuff.
Let's go.
All right, Lee. We're back to tech. So I'm going to call this. I want to say thanks to everybody who was tuning in live. This is such a great topic. So Lee is going to come back with me. We're going to have to figure out the tech issue on the phone or the computer. But we'll definitely get this back on, because it's such a great topic about competition and abundance, and how we have more coming back to us, how we have those opportunities just flowing without being stressed, and knowing that everything is coming to us, right? So I am going to call this, just because we are having some technical difficulties, and you guys that do live streams, this is what happens. But I just want to say thanks so much for tuning into this, and we will bring this back, I promise. So keep an eye out. I can't control tech problems, weather problems, any of that sort. So we will do this again. So thanks so much for being here. We'll be back again next week, and I hope you guys have a great weekend. And of course, Halloween being on Monday. I want to see all your Halloween costumes. What are you guys doing for Halloween? Love to see that on LinkedIn, on Facebook. And we will catch you guys back. Thanks so much. All right, have a great one. Bye.